Okay, shall we make a start then? Let's just quickly run through what I'm going to be using today. I'm using the bold phrases which were released on the 6th of June, I think that was. They will be on Lisa's website next Monday, which is the 20th, because obviously Create and Craft have that 14-day exclusivity, don't they? So hopefully 20th of June these should be on the website, providing she's got stock left, of course. So I'm using those. I'm also using, although I'm not using them today because I've already done this bit, because stenciling's quick using the Ultimate system, but if I did 2 lots of stenciling it would just take me too long. So I've already done this part of it, and the stenciling that I'm going to do today will be the butterflies. Okay, so I'm using the Layering Daisies. I love this set, and these obviously interact really well with the layering circles, because you can mix and match those 2 sets really beautifully. I've only used this one set today. Okay, so today I'm doing the layering butterfly, and when I first saw this I was totally smitten. I love butterflies, and when I saw this, well, just heaven in a box, to be honest. And then I'm using the bold squares, the bubble squares. I know they're out of stock at the moment, but I'm only using them to sort of frame my work. So let's make a start then. First things first, layer 1, butterfly. Now I'm going to use the same colours that I've used for my base card. So I'm using Tattered Rose, Saltwater Taffy, one of my favourites, Picked Raspberry, and Seedless Preserves, because I just think they all go together really lovely. So layer 1, we're going in with Tattered Rose. Now Tattered Rose is going to be layer 1 and layer 2. Layer 1 doesn't need to be particularly deep because it's just the base of the butterfly. I do like this. I think I might need a re-inker for this, to be honest, because it's looking a little bit pale. I know it's a pale pink anyway, but I use the bijou brushes for like a larger area, because I just think they give a really nice smooth coverage. The Wonder brushes are fabulous, but for like a larger area I do like the bijou brushes. Now before I take this one off, I am just going to add a little tiny bit of the Seedless Preserves on the antennae, just because they will be too pale if I don't add some colour, and you'll see what I mean when we come to the end. I might add some more later, but then again I might not. Okay, so that's layer 1. Layer 1's done. Now layer 2 is just the wings. Okay, so as I said, I am going in with the same colour, just a lot heavier. So I want this to be quite a little bit deeper than the first layer. You're not going to see any of the first layer really, other than the body here. But I'm going to change that colour towards the end. Now I'm putting quite a bit more pressure on this, because I want this to be a really smooth, solid colour. So that's layer 2, dead quick. It's dead easy. See how the difference in colour, and that's just that I've gone heavier on the wings than I did on the first part. So going in with layer 3, this is just the top wings. Now I'm going in here with Saltwater Taffy because it's a darker shade, but in a similar colour range. So to me, there's Tattered Rose, Saltwater Taffy, and Worn Lipstick, I think is one of the other colours that is sort of in the same colour family. So that's layer 3. Layer 4 is the bottom wings, and again I'm going in with the same colour because I I just like it really. Okay, so again, quite heavy with this because I want this to be a really solid, smooth colour. It's just one of my most favourite colours in this range. Okay, now you can see there is a tiny slight gap here where those two parts of the, I was going to say leaf then, parts of the wing sort of meet but don't quite meet. You can highlight the edges of those if you want to. So like if I went in with number 3, if I go back with number 3 and just come off the edge here with the ink that's on my brush and just highlight the edge of that wing, it will stand out more. See? You do whatever you want. Your colours and the way you use these stencils is entirely up to you, but I do like to try and do them a little bit differently so that they're not sort of just solid colours. Hi Brenda. So next one, picked raspberry. Now I'm using the stencil brushes for these, so I'm going in with my picked raspberry, but I'm not going in as a solid colour. Okay, so I'm just coming in off the edge of the stencil from the top of the wings, and I'm just dragging the colour down that aperture. So I'm not filling the wing with colour, I'm only coming from the top and partially filling the wing with colour. Okay, and then when we add the last layer, we're going to come in from the other direction and partially fill the wings from the other direction, but with a different colour. Okay, now notice I'm taking some of the colour off my brush onto the stencil first because I really don't want lots of colour in these wings. And you'll hopefully, when I've finished, I'm doing all this on one level as well. Now I'm going to show you some different ways of using the stencil in a minute, and you'll see that the one that I'm going to use today I've 3D'd like I did on the sample that Lisa showed the other night. But this is just the way to sort of, I just wanted to show you a quick way really. So I'm stenciling all this flat on sort of one layer, if you like, one level. But if you were gonna, no, I'll come to that in a minute. I'm going to say how I would do it slightly differently if you were going to 3D it, okay? But I'll come to that. Okay, so first bit, I'm going in with the body, and I want the body to stand out. So I'm going in quite deep with that. And this is Seedless Preserves, beautiful colour. Okay, and now I'm going to do exactly the same as I did with the picked raspberry, but from the other direction. Okay, so really soft. I'm not putting hardly any pressure on this brush at all. So I'm just dragging the colour off the edge of the stencil up through those apertures. Hardly any pressure at all here. You can put as much pressure on as you want if you want the colour a little bit deeper, which I might do in a minute. I might go back and add some more when I've lifted it off and had a look. Take my colour off the stencil rather than off my ink pad, because then I'll know that I'm not going to get too much colour where I don't want it. Now if I lift this up, you see how the shading, I don't know whether you can see it. I don't really want to lift it up, because if I lift it up I might not get it back in the right place. So if I lift the whole thing up, and you see how the shading is gradual in those wing apertures rather than solid colour. Yeah, now I like that effect. rather than having a solid colour in those apertures. If you don't like that and you want to do them as solid pieces, that's entirely up to you. Your art, your choice. I just particularly like that effect. So I am going in a little bit deeper, and I'm using a smaller brush, which will give me a little bit more control over where this ink goes, because I just wanted a little bit more than I'd got on those wing bits. It's very mindful, this. Okay, I think that'll do. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So now that I've done that, I'll just show you that in all its glory. Now obviously then I would die cut that on my machine, because I just think I'll just get it in the right place, obviously. I just think it's a really beautiful stencil to use. Now if that's all on one level, if you were going to do it on so that you were 3D in it, okay, you would do your base butterfly. So I just put my piece of card in so you can see the stencil better. Do your base butterfly, okay, and then your wings. That's not a problem, because you're using those as your base, okay. Then when you come to do the other parts, I would do layer 3 on a separate piece of card, because obviously you're going to be cutting these out, and do them at the top of the card, so you've just got those, okay. And before you move that, go in with number 5 and just add the detail. And when you're adding the detail to these, obviously you don't want any ink in the other parts, so you just need to mask off what you're not using, okay. That way you just get your ink here, right. And then when you come to do the bottom wings, do exactly the same, but move your card up so that you're using just one piece of card, and then do exactly the same with that. So add your detail in afterwards and mask off these bits that you're not using. You're going to have to do it. I'll show you. You can see this is what I've done. Just mask off your areas like that, okay, so that you're only doing one part of the wing at any one time, and that way you'll get the colours that you want in the right place, and you'll also give yourself enough room to die cut the wings, okay. Because if you try and do it like this and then die cut it, I'm not sure that you will get enough space between the edge of this and the edge of the bottom one to die cut it properly. So I would always do it as a separate piece, okay. I hope that was all, I hope that's all clear. If you've got any questions, just shout. Alright, so that's my butterfly stenciling done. Now if I show you the base card, this is the base card, and again I've used exactly the same colours. If I just reach the layer in Daisies and just reach them out for you. Excuse the noise of the cellophane on the camera. Should have left them out really, shouldn't I? So you've got layer 1, which I did in Tattered Rose, okay. You've got layer 2, which I did in Saltwater Taffy. Layer 3, which I did in Picked Raspberry. And then layer 4, just the dots in the middle, which I did as Seedless Preserves, to give you that finish. And I just think it's so pretty. I mean, you can do it in whatever colours you like. I was going to change the colours up for today, but I thought no, I'll just stick with the same ones because I really like them. So you can see I've used the bold phrases, and I've already matted and layered all those so that it's all done and dusted. And the bubble squares, again, cut out, matted and layered, and I've raised both levels up so that it sits proud on that white background card, okay. So now I've got choices. Now I can decide what butterfly to add to this card. So this is similar to this one, and this is all done on one level. so I've just die cut that out. So I could use that one. I'm not using that one, I'm just giving you choices. Okay, now the colourways on the others wouldn't work on here, but I just wanted to show you some different ways of using the butterflies. Okay, now no stenciling on this one. In fact, I don't think there's any stenciling on the other, on this one and the other two, but there is on the one that I'm using today. So this one was just cut out of some card that I'd used the shaving foam technique on, and then just cut the body out of the Euphoria glitter card, the original set, just to give him a body that's a different colour. So that's that one. Then I did just the base in a purple card. I cut the wings out, the detail. If I show you this set, so you can see, if I just show you the dies, that might be easier. So I've just used the detail, and then I've cut them out using the piece that goes around the edge. So you cut all those out. I've cut these out in Lisa's hollow card, that holographic fabulous card that she brought out, and then just added them to the base, and then again I've cut the body out in the black Euphoria glitter card. Okay, so you could use that one. Then I've done a very delicate one. This is just 2 layers of vellum. Now it's quite thin vellum, and I would probably have wanted to use a more solid vellum, a thicker quality vellum, but just to show that you can use vellum. The only problem with vellum is how you stick it together and how you stick it to your card. So I've stuck this together with glue, so I've glued the middle, okay, and I used my 3D glue gel to do that. And then I've cut a body out in white glitter card and added that on the top so that you can't see that 3D glue gel underneath. Okay, so it's all about how you would adhere it to not show the glue through. I mean, the red liner tape, that shows through as well. So if you just concentrate on that middle piece, you can use your glue on that middle piece where those glue dots are, and just adhere it to your card that way. Okay, I'm not using that one today either. So this is the same colours which I did yesterday, and this is the 3D one. Okay, and again I've raised it up with 3D glue gel, and as I said, as with the holographic one, I've just cut these wings out, but I haven't cut the detail out. Okay, I've stenciled that and then just cut the whole wing part out, and you can see that there is a gap between the top and the bottom wings, which I really love. So yeah, this is the one I'm going to use today. But if you see what I mean about when you're cutting them out, if you do them as separate wings and cut them out, I think you'll get a better finish, and you'll be able to lay them out on your base card a lot better. I did colour the base card with my Tattered Rose, so I'm going to 3D this one as well, because I just like the effect, to be honest. I don't want to stick it flat. I think it deserves to be sort of sitting as proud as it can be, to be honest. So let's just add my 3D glue gel, and then down the middle so my butterfly is going in the corner, and I want his little bottom wings to overhang the edge of that square, like so. I'm not going to mess around with it too much because I want the 3D glue to just set. So that's today's. And then yesterday, while I was messing around, I just thought I'd show you this little card that I just sort of made dead quick, really. After I'd cut the butterfly out on one of these pieces, I kept the piece of card and I used it as a stencil. So I inked through the stencil, and then added one of the A5 stamps that Lisa bought out. This one is the music score, which I think is out of stock at the moment, and I'm not sure it's coming back, but you could use any of the background stamps. The little set that she bought back recently, the one with the splatting and the text, that would work nice, or the postcard one, if any of you have got the postcard stamp, that would look amazing in here. But I wanted to use the music score to go with this little gnome playing his guitar, which I've just coloured in Copics in the same colours to match the card. This is the satin card in the green, bubble squares again, bold phrases, and the gnome set. So it's just a different way of using those butterflies, just for something really different. 2 different cards, still using the butterflies, and that's the card, that's the butterfly that we've stenciled today. I really would recommend these stencils. These background stencils are going to be so useful. You don't have to use them as a block like that. You can use them off centre. Like I think the orange one that I did, that I've just used the layer in circles, and that I've used off centre just to sort of fill some of the card, just to make it look a little bit different. So, you know, oodles and oodles of different possibilities. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope I've given you some ideas to use the new butterflies and the new layering stencils. Bye for now.